Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on 2022 Small Business Marketing, the must-haves, and selecting the right must-dos. I'm Bob Hogan, the webinar coordinator and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County. I'll be your host today, and our presenter is Cindy Terzian. More on Cindy in just a minute, but first, some brief information on SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit national partner of the SBA, and locally here at SCORE Fairfield County, we have over 100 volunteers with a wide range of industry, process, and subject matter expertise. And we offer 3 primary value-added services to small business owners. First of all, we offer free one-on-one business mentoring, and you can access that either face-to-face, via video, telephone, email, any way that you like. You can also access it by clicking on the Request a Mentor button on our website or using the yellow bit.ly link that you see on the screen. Secondly, we offer a wide range of educational workshops and webinars like this one, roughly 100 throughout the year. And lastly, we offer extensive resources, including business tools on our website. Our next live webinar is this Thursday, March 10 at 6 p.m. And the topic is financial and funding resources for small and medium businesses with Louis Sylvia presenting. You can find more specifics on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org. And if you're on our website, you can also access a large number of archived webinars on an on-demand basis. Just some logistics about today's event. We have set aside time for Q&A at the end of the presentation. Cindy will take them. But you can type in your question at any time using the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. You can just hover on that and click on Q&A, and you can type in your question at any time during the presentation. We will end the webinar sharply at 1 o'clock to respect your time. The session is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be available on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org, within the next couple of days. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Cindy Terzian. Cindy has 3 decades of marketing experience, including 20 years working for multinationals, early stage companies, and small businesses. Based on this breadth of experience, Cindy recognized the marketing expertise that organizations at different stages of maturity need through their life cycle for growth and sustainability. With this, she began to offer her expertise as a branding, marketing, communication strategist, consultant, and unofficial CMO to small and other businesses. Cindy, it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Can you hear me okay, I hope? Yes.
Yes, I can.
Great. What I'm hoping to accomplish today, and thank you for your time and your attendance, is to have you walk away, so to speak, with 3 key learnings: a real understanding of the foundational elements of marketing, which I often refer to as the must-haves. Also an understanding of what are the options available to me in today's day and age for marketing and communications. And then thirdly, how do you best select amongst the different options depending on your specific needs of your business? Businesses of all sizes, and certainly those that are startups, smaller, or even mid-size, often have limited resources. Those could be time, people, finances, or all of the above. Yet, no matter what size of business you are, or what stage of maturity, there are certain foundational areas that are often referred to as the must-haves, and they really are necessary to succeed in today's ultra-competitive market. The challenge is, with so many options to choose from, how do you really decide and attempt to invest wisely to receive the highest return on your investment in marketing? It's no small decision. In the context of this discussion, when I refer to marketing, I'm going to be actually referring to what I call the 4 veins of marketing, which come together to really drive critical success. It is branding, and we'll dive deeper into that. It is research and intelligence and insights. It's the actual marketing communications process, and it is sales enablement. Together, these 4 areas form what I'll refer to as marketing and the 4 veins of marketing. As far as the must-haves, or what we call the marketing foundation, there are 5 things that really are necessary, or the must-haves, as we say. And the first one begins with a market. You must have a market for your product or service. You must have a unique and valuable solution. You must have a uniquely different brand in order to carve a unique space or an identified space for you in this market. You need to have a marketing strategy and plan. And most importantly, no, actually equally important, is the capacity, ability, and motivation for activating your plan and strategy to yield results. So a plan for action. Let's peel back the market. The market is related to a defined opportunity. What are the needs, wants, motivation, and behaviors that you believe will drive your market? In other words, what are the defined needs currently? What do they want? What's going to motivate them and cause them to act? And equally important in defining your market is the defining of the buyer or user audience, your specific buyer personas. Buyer personas are not typically what some of us grew up with. It's not just, chief executive officer, Fortune 1000 company in the New York metro area. A buyer persona really peels back to understand not only what their job function is, their geographic, their level of responsibility, but what are their specific needs, challenges, what do they want currently, and what do you anticipate they'll want in the future? What is their motivation? Why would they care? Why do they want to act? And what behaviors are necessary to prompt them to want to buy? It also looks at their circle of influence. In other words, where are they? Where do they go for information? Who do they rely upon for information? Who is their sort of a circle of confidants or circle of influencers? Let's talk a little bit now about defining the market and the market needs. I've always said this phrase, it is great to know what we already know, but it's what we don't know that we really need to know. And that is so true. Most people operate on what they think they know, but never really consider what they really don't know. And that's where the opportunity lies. The goal here is to confirm what you perceive to be the unmet or unmet needs and wants in the market and the motivations. It's to define and uncover hidden opportunities. It's to clearly define your buyers, their personas, as we just discussed, to really understand in detail your buyers. And there could be 2 different personas, there could be 3 different personas, but it's to understand each of your buyer personas in detail, specifically the solutions they seek, what is most important to them, why it matters to them, what is most compelling and relevant to them, and when and how to best reach them where they are, the channels that they use, and the circles of influence. Well, how do you effectively do this? You ask them. Question for you, and this goes back to one of the 4 veins, that one being research, insights, and intelligence. When's the last time you really asked or studied your market, buyers, and your competition? If not in the last 6 to 12 months, it's really time. I always tell people before spending even $1 on marketing, you must first clearly define, understand your market as it stands today, and what is anticipated in the near future. To do this, you need to do market research. And while there are third-party research firms out there that do research and provide fee-based reports, these may or may not serve your specific needs. Conducting your own custom research is one way to understand your market and its opportunity and buyers. It is the ideal approach to gain the insights, intelligence you specifically need as it relates to your business and your competition. However, with custom research, as you can imagine, there is a little bit more of a price tag than what you get on the secondary market. And while secondary research and competitive research can also be performed, oftentimes online or again using a third-party paid resource, Primary research involves talking to your audience directly to really uncover information directly from the buyers or users of your product or service. Primary research, depending on the nature of information required, can be conducted using a qualitative, which is open-ended, more perception, anticipation, reaction, or a quantitative approach, which is much more yes, no, choice answers, or a combination of the two. I personally just completed a qualitative research study for a client and followed it up with a quantitative study to validate that what we heard in qualitative was actually true for a larger audience. This, regardless of your choice and direction on conducting research, it is important to allow you to gain the new insights you need on your market, buyers, users, and also the competition. There are many ways to perform research, as you can see, and it's really finding the right research that will get the information you need to make informed decisions, but also remain within your budget. Market research is truly a must-have, but it's also a must-do. As I mentioned, the 5 critical things that one must have to be successful. A unique, valuable solution is right there at the top besides the market. Your product or service needs to address an unmet or unmet need. It needs to also consider the wants, motivation, and behaviors of your buyers and users. It needs to be competitively priced. Questions that you might want to ask yourself about your own is, how does your brand, product, or service uniquely address the defined need that I know my audience needs? How does it differ from competitors or perhaps indirect market alternatives? And why does it matter to the buyer or user I'm intending to reach? We know it matters to us because we develop the brand, product, or service, but why does it actually matter to those? Because if it doesn't matter, one won't act. Let's talk about the product or service for the market need. As I mentioned, it really needs to uniquely solve the need of your defined buyer. Uniquely being the key word. There are always alternatives in the marketplace, and defining how yours uniquely solves the need of the buyers and users is your opportunity. Whether it's your own product or service, or if you're distributing somebody else's product or service, it must be, first of all, available and accessible. It must be perceived as adding unique benefits and value, and always solve the needs, wants, and challenges that your audience needs to address. Having conducted your market competition and buyer user research already, you have either validated the market for the product or service, or you've uncovered a hidden market or opportunity to address with your product or service. Now is really the time to ensure that the product or service you are going to market with are already offered the market, remains timely, relevant, compelling, and serves current needs and anticipated needs. If it does, great. If not, you need to rethink this and either develop or refine your product or service for competitive relevancy, as no form of marketing will ever address a product or service that does not resonate and solve the needs of the buyer or user. Marketing or communications is not a substitute for product or service relevancy. The third thing I covered in the list of must-haves is a uniquely different brand. Not just any brand, but a brand that is perceived and regarded as creating value. Now, value is in the eyes of the beholder, but demonstrating how you provide value through your product or service or brand is an opportunity. Your brand must be also well perceived, clearly communicated, and create a one-of-a-kind experience. A brand is truly an experience. How is your brand that uniquely different from competitors and alternatives in the market. You must create a brand that is truly uniquely different. If not, it's the same old. Often when people think of a brand, they mistake it for the brand name or the logo. While these are part of the brand, they are not the brand. A brand is so much more. As I said, a brand is an experience. To distinguish your brand from others in the market, you must first have foundational elements of the brand in place so that you can convey your brand in your marketing, communications, and sales initiatives. Let's talk a little bit about these foundational elements. I'm going to start with what we call the brand platform. The brand platform certainly is the name. It could be a service name, a product name, or a company name, but it is the beginning. You must have a name and a unique name. You could possibly have a tagline or descriptor that supports the name. You need to define your brand personality. Do you want to come across as fun? Do you want to come across as serious? Do you want to come across as intelligent? Do you want to come across as innovative? In other words, using adjectives. And I often tell people to select the top 3 to 5, no more than 5, that come together and create what is called the brand essence. It's the essence of your brand that you will communicate in words, in visual, in imagery, in a variety of means. You will communicate that which you hope your brand personality is associated with. The brand promise is something that day in and day out, you uniquely commit to delivering through your product, service, company. It's something you can put a unique stake in the ground, and people will look to you to honor that promise to them each and every day. Your unique selling proposition, probably have heard of this. It's what uniquely is the value of doing business with your product, service, or brand. It's what makes your service product unique. And then we call brand messaging, which is part of the platform. It consists of primary messages, those things, those top few things that if anybody thinks of your company, service, or product, this is what you want them to walk away thinking of. Then you have your secondary brand messages, which further support those top line messages. And in some cases, people even have tertiary brand messaging to support the second and first levels. They come together to create a unique brand platform. And the brand platform is used to then inform how you actually visibly go to market. It helps inform the logo that one would develop, the fonts or typography that one would use. For example, may use a very classic font if you want to appear traditional, where somebody might use more of a whimsical font if you want to appear more fun and silly, if you will. The colors that we choose to associate with your brand are oftentimes are very much a part of the visual identity. We could choose blue, green, red, orange. I mean, there is a huge color palette, but it's a very careful and deliberate decision of how we convey your brand. And also images. Images are worth, a picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say. Selecting images that, again, go back to the brand platform and really convey that personality, the brand messaging, the promise. It can be done visually. The two of them combine, the platform and the visual identity, to what we call a brand blueprint. A brand blueprint is really the foundation of your brand. It contains the words from the messaging standpoint, as well as the visual. You can't really create a brand and experience for others unless you first define the brand yourself. A unique brand is truly a must-have. Going back also to must-haves, a marketing strategy and a marketing plan. A well thought out strategy and plan, as you can see on the slide, is necessary to reach and engage your specifically defined audience that you want to reach and engage. going back to your buyer persona. A strategy and plan that is focused on how to best meaning most effectively and most efficiently, market, communicate, and enable your sales channels to sell your product, brand, or service to the defined market. Your marketing strategy and plan needs clearly defined goals, objectives, and metrics to measure your in progress, which we call KPIs, key performance indicators, measure your progress and outcomes, and the results for your marketing and your marketing return on investment. So having this strategy and plan in place is key. It requires discipline, but it becomes your roadmap for success. As I said, strategically developed marketing strategy and plans with stated goal and metrics is imperative. Seeing what works on the fly, we as marketeers call it throw the spaghetti against the wall approach. That's no approach at all. Investing the time and thought into a well-conceived strategy and plan yields dividends, and that you have this roadmap that brings a disciplined and measurable approach to how your business utilizes its time, people, financial resources to most effectively and efficiently market to your buyer and stakeholder audiences. A marketing communication strategy and plan really defines in detail who, what, where, and when of marketing and communications unique to your business. Peeling back the marketing communication strategy and plan and its elements that need to be considered and included, it begins with a mission statement, a SWOT analysis, really assessing objectively your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and potential threats. It delineates who is responsible for marketing and communications, and more importantly, what the role is specifically for each of this individual or group of individuals. Additionally, the strategy and plan includes specifics as it relates to what are your marketing initiatives? What are the goals and metrics associated with each? Who is your target market? It details the buyer personas we discussed. It details your competitors and what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are related to the competitive analysis, based on the competitive analysis. It defines the market strategy as it relates to product, price, promotion, people, process, and physical evidence. It includes your marketing budget. It includes the channels you will use to activate your marketing communications plan into action, and includes your marketing technology information. What tools, resources, and services would you use to actually, again, activate and act on your marketing plan? It could include email marketing tools. It could include social media marketing tools. It could include content marketing tools, but understanding your MarTech is an important part of the puzzle. As I said, a detailed marketing strategy and plan with specifically defined goals and metrics is really a must-have to not only survive and thrive, to succeed. This gets into what is near and dear to my heart, which is activation. It's great to have a marketing strategy and plan, but you don't realize the benefit, obviously, until you put it into action. So this is a must-have, must-do. Now that you have each of your foundational elements completed, you're poised to turn the strategy and plan into actions that yield results. This is where the branding, the market research and intelligence, the marketing communications, and the sales enablement, which are the four veins of marketing, all come together. But let's step back for a moment and start with what I call the first two must-haves in today's day and age. You must have a company website. Day one, when you're ready to launch, you need to have a company website, but not just a website. It needs to be a website aligned to your overall marketing strategy and plan, and it needs to be optimized. I often say, when clients will approach me to help them develop a website, and how are we going to ensure that it is optimized, either for local search, hyper local search, or organic search if you're serving a larger market. Because a website is like buying a car. The SEO is putting the gas and the oil in the car so the car will run. And similarly, SEO and local SEO and hyper is the gas and oil for your company's website. The other thing is, a company website is not a static online tool. It must be kept current with new content added regularly. And I also suggest to people in today's day and age that they have a Google My Business page that they also keep regularly updated. The other thing that is back to basics, so to speak, in today's day and age is having a company page on social media. Again, this aligns back to the strategy and plan, and more specifically, your online or digital strategy and plan. Having a page, company page, and a presence on social media does mean a commitment, because compelling content, in order to be compelling, content has to be kept fresh and updated at least once a week, and often more. But then people say, well, what social media channels do I even go to? That depends on your business, product, and service. Going back to your buyer personas, where are your buyers, users, stakeholders, and audiences hanging out? People oftentimes will migrate to Facebook because it attracts B2C, certainly, and it has some B2B. They'll go Instagram if they want to share images, videos, or live programming, and LinkedIn if they're targeting B2B. Then you have Twitter if they like to tweet short bits of information. YouTube is great for video. You also nowadays have TikTok and Snapchat and all the others. Doesn't matter. I always tell people, select your top 3 initially, might even be top 2, maybe even your top 1. The point is to provide fresh content, engage, and really select your channel based on where your audience or your stakeholders hang out. As I mentioned, and I can't stress enough, it isn't for engaging. So it requires a commitment to ongoing interaction, and fresh content. This is an important part of turning your strategy and plan into action and results. Having a website, having a presence on social media are critical to doing that. The ability to act on your plan. This gets back to, number 1, the capacity, the motivation, and the ability to turn the strategy and plan into real action, because it's only through actions that will results be achieved. Implementation, execution, and measurement tie right into the ability to act on a plan. And they also apply to branding, product service marketing, communications, and sales enablement. The can-do, as I call it, is the skills and knowledge to do something. The will-do is the motivation, commitment, and discipline to carry out. And this is where the act-on comes into play. It's turning the baseline into the will-do. Marketing communications is certainly a must-do. But what are best for my business? Today, there are over 40 different options businesses can choose from to market and engage with their audience in a marketing channel. It is challenging for even professional marketeers who've been doing it for years to know and choose where to place their marketing communications resource to leverage them most effectively and efficiently. Which of these options is really best for your business, and which can your business afford? As I say, it depends. It depends again on your buyers, users, and your audiences. Where are they? How do they become aware of your product and service? How will they become aware of your product and service? And how will you best engage with them throughout the buyer or marketing life cycle and customer journey? Let's look at some of the options available today and consider them as we go through them in relation to your own business in terms of where your buyers are and what you might be able to afford based on the resources financially, time. Okay, let's start with something that we're all probably most familiar with, which is traditional marketing. This is certainly among the 40 plus options available today. This is one, like I said, that we're probably most familiar with. It's promotion, it's brand promotion, it's outbound tactics, meaning that us as the business owner use outbound tactics, which could include billboards, flyers, print advertisement, radio spots, television ads, postcard mailings, anything we're sending and pushing out. It is using offline channels to do it. Outbound marketing is a little different in that it's getting information out to build awareness of your products and services, whether that audience has interest or not. Outbound marketing is the form of marketing that is considered interruptive, since no specific interest has been identified and expressed. It can include cold calling, email blasts to people who have not subscribed to your subscriber list. It can include also print ads and other means of advertising. The key ingredient here is where the audience has not expressed an interest. Inbound marketing, on the other hand, focuses on attracting your target audience, as defined in your buyer persona, to you, your business, your product, your service, rather than through intrusive outbound marketing. So this is an attraction means of marketing. Most outbound marketing is done through digital or online marketing and looks to, as I said, attract and then engage with your audience of buyers, users, and other constituents. The goal really of inbound marketing is to create and share valuable content and experiences that resonate with your target audience so that they are attracted to your business, product, or service. And once they are aware and attractive, your business will want to engage them through further means, such as email marketing, white papers, articles, chatbots, white papers, etc. The goal is to engage with them so they want to do business with you as a client or customer. You become a trusted resource to them. And then once they convert to a client customer status, you'll want to delight them. So not only they stay a customer and become loyal, but they more importantly become your brand advocate and champion. Digital marketing is obviously opposite to traditional marketing, and that is not offline. It leverages technology to reach the audiences you want through marketing online. It tends to be much more affordable for businesses than traditional marketing because it does not require the investment into print means. Digital marketing also includes what is referred to as SEM, social media, email, websites, and so forth. Social media posts and ads are a form of digital marketing. Email marketing is also. It's all methods of connecting online with your audience. Search engine marketing, often referred to as SEM, are strategies that ensure your business, product, or service are visible on search engine result pages, which if you Google something, for example, like Stamford, Connecticut restaurants in Stamford, Connecticut hope to find themselves listed on, without taking an ad, hope to find themselves organically listed on that first page. Being on that first page is the ideal spot. Even being on the top 3 to 5 without paying for ads is ideal. But there is 2 types of search engine marketing. There's the first one I referred to, which is search engine optimization. So that when somebody searches on Stamford, Connecticut restaurants, you come on that top results page. And that is a specialty in and of itself. People are dedicated to search engine optimization and really understand the algorithms and how they constantly change. Pay-per-click, also referred to as PPC, is advertising on the search engines to get visibility. And I'm sure anybody who has done a search often can see right at the top of the page, it will say ad. These people are paying for certain keywords. And when you type in that keyword, they want to be one of the top 2 or 3 ads that you see on that page. As I mentioned, SEO is a skill and a knowledge in its own right. I personally recommend using an SEO specialist to help your business. I know myself as somebody who does marketing day in and day out with clients. I am not an SEO specialist. PPC involves bidding on keywords to ensure your ads are placed on certain platforms. For example, Google, Bing, Yahoo. Tools exist to help in this area. But again, I recommend using a PPC specialist. They again know what works, what doesn't work, as this is their unique talent. Social media marketing. Here is where your business must select and decide on which platforms to engage. And this goes back to your buyer persona. Platforms should be chosen based on where your audience is. Each platform has its own strengths and opportunities for engaging with the audience. So deciding which platform, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, or the many others out there, really depends on where your audience hangs out and on the type of content you wish to share. Keep in mind, if your marketing strategy is to focus on social media marketing, you must commit to creating and sharing relevant content and share with consistency. I personally recommend 3 times weekly as a baseline. There are several social media tools on the market today to help automate and manage this process. I personally use Hootsuite, but there are many others out there to choose from. Content marketing is key for both inbound and digital marketing because it's proven to be effective at attracting target audience. To do this involves creating, publishing, and distributing content to your target audience through the social media channels you've chosen. It includes, but it's not limited to, blogs, videos, which continue to rise in appeal, articles, case studies, ebooks, podcasts, webinars. The goal of content marketing is really to help your audience advance through the customer sales or marketing journey. Similar to a magazine or other editor, you must create an editorial calendar to guide your thinking and management and creation of your content. The best way to publish content is through your own website and linking back to the content through social media channels directly to your website. A content management system, oftentimes referred to as a CMS, makes this easy to do. I briefly touched upon video marketing. Video continues to demonstrate a positive return on investment when used by businesses as an integral part of their online marketing strategy. Video marketing can be used actually anytime throughout the customer marketing journey, from front end building brand awareness and attracting people to engaging with your audience once you've built awareness and attracted them. Further on down the journey to converting new customers and clients for your business. Similar to social media marketing, there are many tools out there to help you create videos and manage the marketing and distribution of videos. Email marketing. I don't think this is new to anybody. It's something that has been tried and true for many years. And yet it helps businesses connect and develop new leads, prospects, and customers. It can be used at the various stages of a customer marketing journey, again, from building awareness to generating visitors to your other media, perhaps to your websites or socials. Email marketing can promote product or services or events, and it can nurture leads towards becoming a customer or client. However, you do have to bear in mind that today there are many regulations you must follow. You've probably or potentially have heard of GDPR and CAN-SPAM acts. You must comply and only email people who are expecting to hear from you. They have opted in to receive your emails. And there must be an easy way for them to opt out at any time. and you must be transparent in your email marketing about who you are when making contact. Email marketing does require you to build your own list of contacts that have opted in to receive. And to do this, you'll first need to strategize how you're going to go about building this email list, which is commonly built through lead capture forms on your website. I also recommend email marketing software. It will make the process so much easier. You've probably heard of Constant Contact, MailChimp, and even today, a lot of CRMs like HubSpot, for example, Salesforce, allow you to send, track, and measure the effectiveness of your email marketing. Anything that involves email marketing automation can help you send emails out based on certain criteria and make the whole process more effective and efficient. Now, these that I've dove into more deeply touch upon the most common marketing employed by businesses. I'd like to just touch upon a few others, but not go in deep at this point, because it really depends on your business. Let's talk briefly about conversational marketing. This enables you to have a one-on-one conversation with your audience across multiple channels. It is meeting your customers how, when, and where they want to be met. While live chat is certainly one option, so are phone calls, texts, Facebook Messenger, email, Slack, and even other channels still exist. Influencer marketing is designed to tap into an existing community of engaged followers on social media. Influencers are perceived as being experts in their niches and help build loyalty and trust from an audience that you might be trying to reach. I know it's very big used with cosmetic brands, where you will have a movie star or an actor, actress, singer promoting a brand or fashion, cosmetic, and so forth. Now they're even talking about hyper-local influencers. So not necessarily a Kim Kardashian or a recognized brand on a national, global level, but somebody that's recognized as an influencer in your market or your region. Buzz marketing is a viral marketing strategy, and it really uses creative content, interactive content, and community influences to start generating word-of-mouth marketing. It's oftentimes used in anticipation for a company, product, or service that is about to launch to start creating some early buzz so that when it does launch, it comes out of the gate strong. Acquisition marketing is to attract and convert targets into sale qualified leads. It's really more the sales enablement piece of the marketing equation. It extends beyond the marketing team, and it oftentimes includes customer service or customer success and activation teams. Acquisition marketing often includes offering freemium products, education hubs, and more. Contextual marketing is for online users, and we've all been a victim of this, so to speak, or it's when online users use different ads on websites based on your online browsing history. So if you looked up a new line of gym wear, you might get several ads in the next few days or weeks or months promoting different brands of gym wear. It really looks at your online browsing history and then promotes ads to you directly using contextual marketing techniques. Personalized marketing is truly that. It's done in a tailored marketing experience. So every person who encounters your business, product, or service feels that they're uniquely being contacted. It could be as simple as including a person's name in the subject line of an email, or sending product recommendations based on how that person previously purchased. So for example, if I shop and I seem to like a lot of electrolyte drinks, promoting various electrolyte drinks to me based on the fact that I seem to have a preference for that. Brand marketing, we already touched upon brand. It's really intended to shape the public's perception of your brand, product, or service. It really is intended to develop an emotional connection with your audience. And it's done through storytelling, creativity, humor, inspiration. The goal is to really be thought-provoking and generate discussion so that your brand is positively remembered and associated. Stealth marketing is used when companies or brands promote their products to those who don't even realize they're being marketed to. For example, when you're watching something on TV and you see a brand or product integrated into the shot, I know Pepsi oftentimes will have its products in the background, even if it's not a Pepsi commercial. That is stealth marketing. They're paying to have their products shown. Guerrilla marketing, again, we've probably all been a victim of it, so to speak, or been in a situation but never really realized it. It's where you market in high traffic physical locations to build up brand awareness. So, for example, you might be going to a live event and maybe you're walking the floor handing out brochures. You don't have permission to do so from the sponsors or organizers of the event, but you're out there promoting your brand. It could be at an outdoor event, an indoor event, but you're doing what they call guerrilla marketing. You're face-to-face, online, physical location. And as we conclude, you've also got several other forms of marketing. Affiliate, when a business financially rewards another business for referring them to a potential customer. For example, I work with so-and-so. I'd like to bring in another business to help work with this customer. We have an affiliate relationship. I'm the conduit for introducing them. Partner marketing is a little more formal, and it's oftentimes referred to as co-marketing. It's a formal collaboration between businesses where they partner either on a macro level on a marketing campaign and share the results. See this a lot when you have brands, for example, like today, SCORE and my business are co-marketing this event. Although SCORE was the primary marketing, I also shared it with my network of people in an effort to co-market the brand. Product marketing drives demand for a specific product or service and its adoption. It's very much focused on unique positioning and messaging of the product or service. More and more account-based marketing, or called ABM, is being used by particularly larger companies, but it can be used by any size company. It's a marketing strategy for targeting key accounts. Rather than treat the account as an account, it treats an individual person or a small group of people at the business as their own market and creates personalized content and campaigns for those individuals. So, for example, at a large account, IBM, it would be maybe looking at the accounts payable department and the 5 people in it, and I'm just making this up, and actually do an account-based marketing. So you would market specific to their needs of those 5 individuals and create content and personalizations unique to those 5 people versus IBM as in the large. Customer marketing, it focuses on retaining your existing clients and customers, and you do this by delighting them with your product and service. It turns them from customers or clients into brand champions and advocates. A clear example of this is loyalty programs, where they're consistently encouraging you, incentivizing you to be loyal to the brand. Word of mouth marketing, we all know what that is. It's one of the most powerful forms of marketing. The question is, how do you prompt this? By creating shareable, viral worthy content, referral programs, requesting reviews or testimonials from delighted. You want to generate that word of mouth. So when somebody says, I need blah, 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 oh, you need to call blah, blah, blah. This is the company or service that you want to go to. User-generated marketing is cost-effective. It engages your audience. It's a great way to brand build. It allows you to leverage your audience to participate in creating marketing materials for you. A good example of this is a social media hashtag challenge of some kind, like stay hydrated, hashtag stay hydrated for a water company. Also asking your customers or clients to share pictures or videos of them with your brand and using your product or service in these pictures. That's user-generated marketing, very popular in today's day and age. Within user-generated marketing is actually a subcategory called proximity marketing, which is a local, highly targeted strategy that uses users in specific locations to show them relevant product or service promotions. You've heard of this through Bluetooth beacons, Wi-Fi, QR codes, geofencing. It's hyper-local marketing. And lastly, event marketing. We all know what that is too. It's live in-person events. It now includes online events. Since COVID, it's been more popular. It can be a webinar. It can be an in-person seminar. It could be an online or in-person workshop, course, trade show, conference, podcast, public news release. It's an event that you are promoting, whether it be online or offline. But event marketing does require promotion strategy, similar to what we saw today, where Bob and the SCORE team were promoting this event for signups ahead of time. We want to be able to spread awareness of the event through the right channels, both online and traditional. I'm not going to cover all of these. I'm interested in the time, but you can see that there are other forms of marketing that are important. Now, the reason I shared this glance at the marketing is with all these options out there today, how can you possibly choose the right options for your specific business? There really is no right or wrong answer. The only absolute must is to first form a strategy and a plan that connects you with your desired audience where they are, and that it provides a return on investment. It requires you to really know as much as you can about them, where they go for information, and where they frequent and who they trust. You know, you may choose a combination of these strategies of marketing that we just reviewed. Whether your goal is to generate leads or further on down the pipeline to further engage with leads or to acquire and delight customers, ultimately what you will choose is what makes the most sense for your business based on your unique audience, your brand, product, or service, and the resources, time, people, and financial that you have. To do this requires assessing the resources you have available. Lastly, resource assessment and ROI. Do you have the financial resources to fund the marketing that you so wish to pursue? Do you have the internal resources, human resources, to implement and execute? Or do you have to hire someone or contract the help? Do you have the time and expertise to manage and measure the marketing options you've selected? Measuring ROI. So you've decided to invest in certain aspects of marketing. You've picked 3 perhaps. Now, how do you identify and define the right metrics to measure your return on marketing investment? And how do you identify specific key performance indicators that will be used throughout the monthly, quarterly, trimesterly to measure your progress and results today towards your stated and defined goals? This is the full circle. And what I hope you took away from this is not only are the foundational elements must-haves and must-dos to be in place, there are many options available to you to market today. Selecting the top 2, 3, no more than 5 is what is key for your business to drive success. And then having the metrics to measure your success in doing so and your return on investment is an integral part of the process. Now, what's on your mind?
That's great, Cindy. Lots of valuable information there. It's almost an overwhelming array of choices, and I'm sure people have a lot of questions. So we'll use the remaining time that we have for Q&A. And just as a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and we'll take as many as we can up until the top of the hour here. And our first question is from Mirvet, and she is going back to when you're talking about the brand name, and she's saying, does the brand name need to mean something related to the product you sell?
It does not. When and I'll explain the process I go through when I'm helping companies, product, service, or companies overall develop a brand name. We look at the strategy in terms of how the brand wants to be perceived. And I'll give you an example. I developed a brand name that was D4, and it had nothing to do with the product or service. The name was derived because of the 4 elements we want people to get out of the brand. And they offer big data and intelligence services. And one of the D's stands for develop, one of them is deliver, one of them is decision, and it's escaping me right now. But if you just saw the name D4 out of context, you would not necessarily know what that meant. So the brand name was chosen on what we intended to define it through the brand promise, personality, brand messaging, but it wasn't having to be specific to the brand. I'm going to give you another example just so you can see. There was a company that I worked with, and you may know the company, lovely company, Eastern Bag and Paper Company. They established in Connecticut in the 1920s. They started out as a bag and paper company and began to offer many more products and services. There was a brand name that needed to be changed because their current brand name was too defining and not indicative of what they currently do. So I hope I answered your question. It does not have to be indicative, but it has to lend to the whole brand story and brand messaging and positioning.
Cindy, we have a question asking if you help people, and the answer obviously is yes. And if people want to contact you, maybe you could just let them know what the best way to do that is.
Sure. On my last slide, I have all my contact information, and I'm happy to share that after. I could share it now, but matter of fact,
why don't you put it up? That's perfect. Put that up on the screen, and if anyone wants to contact you, they can. Just remember, if you have a question, we still have time for more. Cindy, just while we're maybe waiting for a couple questions to come in, one that came to me is there was such a wide array there of options from traditional marketing to digital marketing, and went on. And I certainly agree with the need to only pick 2 or 3. From your experience, do you have any examples of the types that would work well with certain businesses versus others, or whether by size or product or service, whether it's traditional versus digital, et cetera?
I will tell you, I look at a client's budget usually too, because you can get a lot more bang for your buck, as you can imagine, out of online digital marketing than traditional. However, for some businesses, they have to incorporate some traditional marketing. There's just no way around it. So what I oftentimes look for, particularly with businesses who have smaller marketing budgets, is how much can we leverage online and digitally first? So online and digital marketing is the first way I look. I also look at the partner and referral marketing as a challenge, because most smaller, even mid-sized businesses have a limited in terms of their reach. They may have one salesperson, might have one marketing person, they themselves might be the sales and marketing person. What other businesses in the area are not competitive to what our brand, service, or product is, that we might be able to develop either an affiliate marketing program or a partner marketing program that's a win-win, so that I can potentially bring business to them, or they can certainly bring business to me. That is particularly for somebody who's people resource limited, as well as financially and even time resource limited, a great avenue to develop business.
That's great. It's valuable advice, because I think a lot of people on the webinar do have limited budget, as everyone does. So I think that's a prime consideration. So at this point, we don't have any other questions, and we're almost out of time. So I think that we'll wind it up here. And as a reminder to everyone, the webinar has been recorded, and the materials will be available on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org, within the next day or so. And our next live webinar will be Thursday, March the 10th at 6 p.m. And again, that topic is financial and funding resources for small and medium businesses, with Louis Silva presenting. And again, if you'd like to take advantage of the free individual counseling, you can use the link that we put on the screen earlier, or you can go to our website and click on the Request a Mentor button. And if I could also remind you to please fill out your evaluations after you signed off from the webinar. They're very helpful to us. So on behalf of SCORE, thank you to everyone for joining us for this live webinar today. And a special thank you to Cindy for presenting today. And stay well, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you. Have a great day.